Is laziness really such a bad thing? I thought we'd have some fun with that on this episode of the Spiritual Psychotherapy Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Sneeden. This is one of my favorite topics because it comes up a lot with clients. And if you are one that battles with laziness, you know the conversation that happens. I should really get up and do something, but I don't want to. I'll do it later, right? There's this whole sense of the need to be productive, the need to be doing something, the need to be active. If you've ever worked with me before, you know I'm going to call you out each and every time you talk about laziness. Clients have so much guilt and shame around this, and it can lead to a lot of self criticism. It can lead to sort of like this stuckness where you just can't really do anything. Where does this come from? Well, generally, it comes from childhood. It comes from well intentioned people that love you very much and believe that the way to make something of yourself is through hard work and effort. You got to get up and get at them and get going. And the success that you're seeking is on the other side of pushing, 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 doing more, working harder, chasing the dream, hustling, all of this, right? That that you can't make something of yourself. You can't be a productive, hardworking, contributing member of society unless you're constantly pushing yourself into motion. And this comes from very loving people most of the time, very well-meaning people who have the mistaken belief that success in life is due to hard work. But obviously, you know that that's not true. You know now that you don't go to work every day to a job that you hate to build a happy life. That just doesn't work. You can't have a miserable journey to a happy ending. We know now that this whole paradigm of suffering through 40 years of work to get your paycheck every 2 weeks and your vacation every year, and then retire into nirvana at 60 or 65. We know that that paradigm is just so misaligned with our spiritual side. We're meant to enjoy every day. We're not meant to wait 60 or 65 years to enjoy our lives. And the mentality behind making something of yourself and hard work and pushing is the belief that life is sort of supposed to suck, and then retirement is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But since that doesn't work, the belief that you aren't meant to enjoy your work doesn't work. The belief that you're supposed to suffer through life until you reach that milestone, that doesn't work, right? You can't go through a life of misery and have a blissful ending. We know better than that now. But because so many of us lived this lie, we've been able to expose it. We know that life is supposed to feel good today, right now. So, what I want to do is take this understanding of the world and overlay the concept of laziness in this. In the old hard work paradigm, laziness simply cannot be tolerated. It contradicts the notion of hard work and it must be eradicated. So, many clients have this internal dialogue running in their heads that laziness is bad and that they are bad when they want to, what they call, be lazy, what I would call rest. And when you've wired in this connection that resting is bad, resting is laziness, laziness is bad, anytime you want to take a break to just enjoy your life, you create this tremendous internal conflict for yourself, right? They're impelled to be constantly working, constantly productive, constantly doing, with no thought to whether or not they're actually enjoying their lives. If you're productive, you're good. If you're not being productive, you're bad. Now, those of you listening who get this, you get this. You know that about yourself. You see yourself in those terms of doing something good, not doing something lazy, bad, all of those things. It creates stress, it creates anxiety, misery and even dis-ease in your body until people reach the point where they simply can't sustain it any longer. And then they come out for help because they think that there's some character defect within themselves. Something is wrong with me, that I have this laziness and we need to get rid of it so I can go on to live a good life. So let's take this whole thing and understand it in the context of law of attraction, right? When law of attraction is it when you view laziness through the lens of law of attraction, you understand that there's nothing wrong. There's no character defect here. Laziness is nothing more than a sign that someone is trying to push against the law of attraction. They're trying to use hard work. They're trying to use effort. They're trying to use struggle to countermand what law of attraction is bringing into their lives. So law of attraction might be bringing, let's say, a flow of a small amount of money into your life. And you want more money, but you're only allowing in this small amount of money. So you decide you're going to work harder, you're going to advertise more, you're going to work more hours, you're going to do whatever it is that you decide you're going to do, and you're going to push, 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 and hustle, hustle, hustle. Well, none of that helps you because your point of attraction is still only allowing in less than what it is that you really want. You can't work hard enough to outmaneuver the law of attraction. So eventually you just give up and you end up on the couch binge watching Real Housewives or whatever you like to binge watch and saying, none of this is working. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm lazy and I can't get it done and I'm not working hard enough, right? And that's the breaking point for a lot of people where they just sort of give up. And in this moment, there's a beautiful surrender that allows them to really understand that the path to what they're desiring is based on their point of attraction rather than their hard work and effort. Because when you are lined up with what you want, when you are lined up with the abundance of the universe, the law of attraction brings it to you. It's never hard. It's never effortful. It's never exhausting. It just is fun and invigorating and joyful. And you wake up eager to go for the next day because you can't wait to see what it's going to hold. Now, is the law of attraction going to deliver a bunch of money to your front porch like an Amazon delivery? No. But what it's going to do when you're lined up with what you want, it's going to bring you the ideas, the inspiration, the connections, the coincidences, the serendipities that allow you to move toward what you want, because these seemingly innocuous ideas or flashes of inspiration are actually lighting the path forward for you, and you're allowing them into your life because your point of attraction is matched up with what you want. And here's how you know that your point of attraction is aligned with what you want. Everything you do will be fun. Nothing is hard work. Nothing is arduous. For me, I often wake up with a new podcast episode or a new video or a new blog post bubbling like it must be written, and I make my coffee and I get it done, and it's so much fun to do, and then it's a tremendous sense of satisfaction putting it out in the world. It's never drudgery, it's never hard work, it's always joy. When I work one-on-one with clients, it is the best part of my day. It brings me joy each and every day to well, I don't see clients each and every day, but each and every day that I see clients, it brings me joy because I love that co-creative process. I love facilitating clarity for people. I love uplifting and inspiring. So if I have a day where I see 5 or sometimes even 6 clients, I'm invigorated. And my kids will say, "Did you drink caffeine today?" No, I just had so much fun with my work. And that's how you know you're aligned with what you're doing. It's never exhausting. It's never hard work. It'll surprise and delight you to take the actions that you're called to do. This is how you know that you're on the path because you've got the forces of the universe on your side. You're just along for the ride, enjoying it. It all clicks together. But when you're working against the law of attraction, you have to rely on hard work and effort, and it is exhausting. You are done at the end of the day. You want to pour yourself a big glass of wine, put your feet up, and just veg out watching TV because you've given everything you can give. You treasure days off, you treasure vacations, not because you're excited about the adventure that it will bring, but because you're excited to get away from it all you want to do is check out and pull away from the world. This is how you know that you're fighting law of attraction. Law of attraction is the organizing principle in your life, in the universe. How do you imagine you're going to fare if you try to outwit it? Not well. And the reason I know this is because I attempted for many years of my life to rely on hard work and effort, and it never brought me what I wanted. It wasn't until I really understood the law of attraction that I was moving through my life with ease. I can tell you from firsthand experience, working against the law of attraction sucks. It leads to burnout. It's the path to misery and exhaustion. And if that's where you are in your life, I want you to really carefully look at where am I pushing against my point of attraction? Where do I believe this, but my actions are trying to move me in the opposite direction of my beliefs? That's the sticking point. And when you're working with the power of law of attraction, it's easy and fun. When you're working against it, you're working against yourself. And this is where laziness comes back into the discussion. Part of you wants more money, right? Or let's say a boyfriend. Part of you really wants to have a fantastic life partner. So that part of you is eager about the experiences that you might have and the partnership and the fun and the romance and the sex. And then part of you is saying, there's no good men out there. Nobody is ever going to love me. I'm not going to find the partner that I'm looking for. So these two pieces are at war with yourself, right? You're doing battle, you're in conflict with yourself. And in that scenario, law of attraction cannot bring you a partner. It is going to respond to the vibration that is the strongest. And in most cases, this is the negative vibration. So what you're going to encounter is no good men, nobody that's interested in you, nobody that's trustworthy, nobody that's stable. You're going to encounter these scenarios because that's all that you're allowing yourself to encounter. You can go on every single dating app. You can go to speed dating. You can go out to the clubs on the weekends, and all you're going to encounter is more men that you don't want to be with. And you can't do enough to fix that. So eventually you just give up and say, I give up. There's no men out there for me. In fact, what you've been doing this whole time is digging the hole deeper. Every time you try to counteract a core belief that you have, you're digging the hole deeper, digging the hole deeper, digging the hole deeper. And it exhausts you to the point where you just have to give up. And here's the key to it all. In the case where your beliefs do not support what you want, laziness is your best course of action because at least now you're not digging the hole deeper. At least now you can sort of stay where you are and give yourself time to regroup, to do the internal work, to raise your point of attraction, whatever it is that you need to do, because at least you're not giving more momentum in the direction where you don't want. Every action that you take that comes from the place of not enough, lack, just brings more not enoughness and more lack into your life. So when you're headed in the opposite direction, laziness is the best thing possible for you. So instead of being hard on yourself for being lazy, I want you to understand what it is. Understand it for what it is. It's an indication that your desires and your beliefs are misaligned. Something about what you want and something about what you believe don't match up with each other. And you've exhausted yourself trying to fix the problem through action. This tug of war between you and you has just worn you out. You have to fix the tug of war, and then the laziness will just dissipate automatically. I introduced you not too long ago into the emotional guidance scale in one of my recent episodes. And if you think of it in terms of the emotional guidance scale, whenever the concept of laziness, whenever that word laziness pops into your mind, it's an indication that you're down in a negative feeling emotion. Something is going on for you emotionally that the whole concept of laziness has popped up. Because when you're at the top half of the emotional guidance scale, when you're in joy and happiness and eagerness, even contentment and satisfaction, the concept of laziness is a mismatch for you. It won't even enter into your vibration. So what I want you to do when you notice that you're feeling lazy, say two things. One, thank goodness I'm lazy, because if I were to take an action right now, I would be digging the hole deeper, and I am done with that. The second thing I want you to say to yourself is, because I'm feeling lazy, I know I'm down at the bottom of the emotional guidance scale. The best thing I can do for myself right now is to rest, to recover so that my point of attraction can come up to contentment, satisfaction, happiness, love, joy, whatever it is where you want it to go. But give yourself the rest, take a nap, binge watch TV, whatever it is that feels like the right thing for you to do in that moment to find relief. Because what you need is relief from that tug of war, that battle that you've had. And once you find the relief, your point of attraction will naturally rise. So play with this, have some fun, and really challenge yourself next time you come up with the idea that you're lazy for whatever reason. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode.